All right, we're back after a World Junior win for Canada. We were pretty excited about that, eh?
Yeah, we were excited. We were pinned.
Some more than others.
Yeah, um, but yeah, we were excited. Obviously, it was a good game.
hmm
It was right down to the last just under 2 minutes, right?
Yep, Tyler Steenbergen. I was thinking the whole game. I was like, man, I would love for him to
Get one.
get one in this tournament, and then it was the most important one. So
Yeah, Dubé had a nice rip, eh?
that guy can shoot the puck.
Yeah, he can. He's really underrated.
I think
I
he
don't know
was
what
one of
he's
the
gonna
best
be.
players on Team Canada.
Yeah, if not the best. I don't really know what his upside is gonna be.
Mm.
Like, Where's a guy like him gonna fit in Calgary's system going
Yeah.
down the road? I don't know, but
Mm.
they're pretty loaded.
I don't know if I told you this. I don't know if I should say this. I'm gonna anyway. There was a Facebook post. I don't know if these people listen to us or not. By a guy, and then another guy who me and you both know well, not very well, but well enough. Put on there that Fabro and Clegg were the best players on Canada. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, was he pinned too, or
I think so.
yeah?
Anyway,
Yeah, no, Fabro wasn't, but he was playing hurt.
well, that's what I mean. But
Yeah, and he wasn't the best defenseman there, and I don't know, what I would say to that.
mhm.
I think Clegg played well. He didn't really produce as much as I kind of thought he would, but
Well, I think because Makar and Timmins played so well, it kind of
oh
just
yeah,
drowned him out, right?
yeah, exactly.
I got one more thing I want to ask you, and then we're going to go into break, and then I think the rest of the podcast we're going to talk a little bit about. I got some thoughts on the Leafs I want to just briefly talk about because we talk Leafs a lot, but I just want to talk about it. And then we got some questions on Facebook and Twitter we're going to touch on.
Yeah, we got 3 questions. Good feedback. It's nice.
All it took was me going on a rant last week to get some support.
Yep.
But anyway, one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
It's a basketball thing. We're not big
All right, I'm
basketball
out.
fans. No, I want to know what you
Get it.
think. So everyone's so excited about this Lavar Ball guy.
Mhm.
You either love him or hate him, right?
Yeah.
Now he's got his oldest son Lonzo plays for the Lakers, and then he's got 2 younger sons, Lamelo and LaAngelo. No, I don't.
Langelo, yeah.
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 The 2 younger ones are now playing basketball in Lithuania, pro basketball.
Right.
The youngest one is a grade 10 student in high school who has been pulled out of high school to play basketball in Lithuania.
Is he 16?
Yeah. And then the older one was the one who got caught stealing in China and
Yeah.
got dropped by you. Well, he didn't get dropped by UCLA. He got suspended, and then his dad pulled him out and said, "How could you punish a kid for doing that?" Well, because it's illegal. But anyway, everyone's forgetting the fact, and I think I just kind of realized it today. This guy pulled his 16-year-old son out of high school to maybe play basketball for 10 years if it goes well.
If he, yeah.
Like
if it
professional
goes well.
basketball. I mean, like, so he'll go play there until he's 18 and get drafted. That's what Lavar's plan of attack is, right?
Oh my goodness. And that's the guy who sells, like, shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Crappy shoes.
Did you see the thing on Barstool, the Better Business Bureau?
Yeah, I love it.
They graded because Lavar Ball, if you don't know, owns the Big Baller brand, which makes shoes and clothes and stuff like that, which apparently are all just garbage.
They're garbage.
Just garbage.
Don't want size 13s. Anyways, you're going to get size 13.
Yes, a guy from Barstool Sports ordered a size 11 and got a size 13 instead, 6 months after he ordered the shoes. But anyway, where was I going? Where was I going with this? I don't even remember. But
Just how he pulled the 16-year-old kid.
yeah, no one is reacting at all to the fact that this guy pulled his 16-year-old son out of school to play basketball for maybe 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, I'm not supporting that. I like it better. Not that I don't like the way, I always compare it to junior hockey. I like the way the junior hockey system works in Canada because they offer you like you have the option to go on and do education. Like I know a lot of the Knights players go to Western or Fanshawe, or they at least take courses.
Belleville Bulls went to Loyalist College.
A lot of PK Subban, no
Mhm.
big deal.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, he. Anyways, and like for that Ball kid, whatever one it is, he's 16, grade 10. There's no guarantee he's not guaranteed a guaranteed NBA player
Mm-hmm.
until he's probably drafted. Unless he's going in like the first round, then he's not really guaranteed, and you're gonna risk not having an education.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's going to school over there.
Well, I'm not going to say most likely that's a no. But
Yeah.
I think there's two parts to it. So the younger one, from what I hear and what I kind of saw today, because their game was broadcast, their first game in Lithuania, the younger one's the better of maybe the three.
Really, eh?
Like Jordan Subban was the better of the three Subban brothers. He's the only one not in the NHL. But anyway. So...
He's got Jared Stahl syndrome.
Yeah, Jared Stahl syndrome. But the younger one's supposed to be the best, so he might have the career. But the middle one is apparently the worst of the three.
Yeah, so he's not doing
And he's the one that's been pulled out of getting a Division I scholarship at UCLA to go try to play pro basketball for probably not 10 years.
Just because he got suspended off the basketball team for stealing in Korea?
China.
Japan? China?
China!
Yeah, I don't know what I think of that.
I don't know. I saw that all over Twitter today because everyone's all excited about them playing their first game. And
Lavar Ball's a goddamn knob anyway.
Well, I hate that we're talking about him but it's been bugging me because I hate talking about him because he doesn't do anything. He's just a guy who's a loudmouth who goes out there.
People always, what do people call him? They call him the Kris Jenner of basketball fathers.
Yeah, because the kids are the Kardashians.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I don't know.
That speaks to it.
Anyway, I remember where I was going with the Better Business Bureau thing. Is they got an F because one of their customer service reps got a call about them not the person didn't get their pair of shoes on time, and the customer service rep said it was because they were a small baller, not a big baller.
Oh. I like that.
Yeah, it's not a great response if you are an employee.
No.
But.
That's awesome.
Anyway, we'll stop talking about Lavar.
Yeah, okay.
Lavar Ball.
That's funny.
I know it was a great conversation for you. You cared, so.
Yeah, I'm not into the basketball as much as I used to follow it.
I'm not either, but I don't know.
I'm
Once April rolls around, the Raptors are in the playoffs. You won't find a bigger Raptors fan around probably than me. But,
I don't even pay attention to that. I don't think I've watched an entire NBA game other than a couple of finals games.
Yeah.
But I'd go watch one.
Yeah.
I'm more into hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much just hockey.
Yeah. So.
Why is Tyler Johnson's name trending? Oh, it's not the Tyler Johnson we know.
Oh, who is it?
It's the Heat's Tyler Johnson.
Oh, basketball.
Isn't he Canadian?
I don't know.
I believe he's Canadian.
I thought the only Canadian in the NBA was Andrew Wiggins.
No, there's a couple. Corey Joseph.
Oh, right.
Yeah. A couple of them. Steve Nash was.
Yeah.
No, Tyler Johnson is not Canadian. Not at all.
All right, so let's stick to hockey then.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna take a little break. We'll come back. We'll answer the questions we got, and I don't know if Will has anything to talk about the Habs, but we'll talk a little.
They're on a bye week.
Oh, sorry to hear. After tomorrow, so are the Leafs.
Nice.
Yeah, so next week's
Booze
podcast will be tough.
Booze Cruise.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back after this. Pretty good song.
I saw him the other day.
You saw him the other day?
The other month.
November?
Yeah, in November. I went to see him. He opened for the Arkells when I was at Budweiser Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was really good. First time I really saw him. That's Matt Mays. He's from Hamilton. Kind of reminds me of like a Tom Petty crossover between Tom Petty and, I don't know, someone a little harder.
I don't get Tom Petty when I listen to him.
Listen to Faint of Heart.
That's what we just listened to.
Listen to it all. Listen to it all.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I get a little bit of Tom Petty out of him when I listen to it. Not his voice or anything, just like the style of his writing.
Okay.
But off the air, what we were just talking about, the OHL trades.
A lot of trades today
Yeah,
and
I was
earlier this week.
I was just telling Riley that I'm going to see a game. My girlfriend bought me tickets to go see a London Knights game for Christmas, and we're going at the end of the month.
Who's
or
playing?
At the beginning of the next month. We're playing. Why? I never put myself in.
Since when did you play for London?
No, never. But no, the Knights play against the Flint Firebirds, so at least I'll see Svechnikov and Lipanov and.
No, you won't, because they play for Barrie.
Oh, not. What did I say?
You said Flint.
Oh, I meant the Barrie Colts.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. Flint Firebirds.
I was gonna say, wow, yeah, sick job.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty pumped that I get to see Svechnikov play because the Knights just sold. But it'll be interesting because a lot of their like guys that they got acquired for like the future, like Nathan Dunkley from Kingston, they got him in the. Wyatt Jones went there, Pooh went there.
Velarde, Day.
Yeah, Kingston's loaded. And then they have another guy that they got. I like him too. They got him for Jones. Popov. He's good. He's skilled. He's like dual citizen too, Canadian and Russian. So yeah, I'm excited to see those guys play. Dunkley already scored for the Knights, so that's kind of cool for him.
Yeah.
He's only 17 too, so he's out of the Quinny West Minor Hockey Association.
The Quinny Red Devils.
The Quinny Minor Hockey, like the Red Devils. He played there the year after Brady Gilmore. For those of you who don't know Brady Gilmore, he plays for the Saginaw Spirit. I think he was a 7th round pick of Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, I'll never forget because I was doing a feature story on Brady Gilmore because we were working not working. We were going through school at Loyalist College, and I was doing an interview with Brady, and Will tagged along because Will was doing a story about the Quinny Red Devils' perfect season. And little did we know that the Quinny Red Devils lost their first game of the year that we were at.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Yeah, that was a cool thing, though. I got to, me and Phil, who came and he was a mentor for our program.
I always forget about Phil Williams.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure he still is.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was a freelancer for TSN and Sportsnet, wasn't he at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to Phil Williams.
He was at the Spangler Cup too, so this year.
Probably doesn't know who we are now, but
yeah. But anyway, so that was cool because I got to go on the bench with the camera and film him. I interviewed him and Aiden McFarland, who played some time for Mississauga. He's playing for the Kingston Canadians right now, Junior A.
Yeah, isn't it the? Oh yeah.
No, the Voyagers, the Junior C.
Voyagers, yeah.
Yeah, the Kingston Canadians. So anyway, I didn't. That story went all over the place, but.
Yeah, I made a mistake. You made a mistake.
No, I didn't make any mistakes. You did.
Kingston Canadians?
That's the name of the Junior A team.
That was the Voyagers.
No, the Voyagers are the Junior C team.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm right.
Oh, well. You're right.
As always.
Claire just texted me. She said Barry.
Isn't she right beside you?
She's right behind me. She heard everything.
Yeah.
She's on her phone, though.
Yeah.
Anyways, we had a couple of things that we wanted to touch on briefly. Was before we get into the questions that we asked. Well, we put out a status on some of our socials today, asking what we should talk about. But before we get into that, we'll answer those questions after, and we'll talk about Riley's Leafs.
Okay.
And a questionable decision that you took to Twitter about, I believe, 24 hours ago, or
well,
24.
It's been like a season of questionable decisions. So the Leafs they were up 2-0, blew a lead last night. Morgan Riley gave the puck away on the tying goal, but you can't really give Morgan a hard time because he's been their best defenseman all year. But anyway, they went to overtime, and little do you know who hops over the boards to start overtime. The matchup game king, number 47, Leo Komarov, starts overtime and plays a minute. And they
They
did.
got
He wasn't the one on the ice when they scored, but Dermott went out there. He was buzzing all game, buzzing the first two games he's played. Guess how much time he played in overtime?
30
Like
seconds.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm so like, I was talking to my parents tonight, and I was like, Babcock's too smart for his own good.
Yeah.
Like Dermott will not stay with the Leafs because he's a left shot and he's not a right shot, and they need a right shot because he always has this consideration or this mindset that you have to have a right and a left shot D on the ice at the same time. So,
That's what he did with Canada.
but that's what I'm saying. Dermott will not stay with the team because he's Roman Polak. I don't know what hand he shoots. He might as well not even have a stick, for Christ's sake. But anyway, like, I don't know. I would just wish for once they would play the player who is playing well. And I thought the last two games, Dermott and Riley were their two best defensemen. And he was on at practice today. Travis Dermott was the seventh defenseman, which screams, I'm going back down to the Marlies. And I tweeted about it last night too. I said, you know what? I went Dermott's playing great, but we all know this song and dance. Zaitsev will get healthy again, and Dermott won't be ready, and he'll go down for the rest of the year.
Probably.
Because
But all the analysts are saying they were talking about how well he played, and like, I mean, it's hard to base a lot off of 2 games.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, if he consistently plays that way and plays well, even if he's not a big points guy, you just got to be able to defend, right?
Yeah, and he does.
But,
Like I was watching him last night. He was playing position well. He got the puck out quick. He took one penalty, which was a very questionable penalty. Like if it should have been a hooking penalty.
yeah,
But it's just he's got this love for Komarov, who played 24 minutes the other night.
that's unbelievable. Why he would play a guy that has 10 points this year, 24 minutes?
Because you want to trade him, but you're not helping your cause because who the hell wants that?
I don't know.
But
I wouldn't take him. By the way, Polak is a right shot.
okay, so
D.
so
So-
Riley's a left, I think.
Uh,
I'm putting you on the spot here, but anyway.
well, either him or Riley's left. What's Gardner? Because those two played together.
Gardner might as well not even play with a stick. He's like Polak.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing too. He's all concerned about having the same, like a right and left shot D on the ice at the same time. Like when Gardner's on the ice with someone, you're basically playing with one defenseman anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's too smart for his own good. Because he loves these guys. Like I don't know if you listened to Overdrive yesterday, but they were talking about
I didn't.
they were talking about Komarov, Brown, and Hyman, and how much Babcock loves those guys. They said if there was a bomb shelter and there was only 3 seats in there and it was the 4 of them, Babcock would give up his seat and go take the bomb head on because he loves those guys so much. Which is fine because like Hyman's been well. He gets the puck in the corner and digs it out from Brown hasn't played as well as he did at the start of the year, but Komarov and Gardner and Polak, and it's just he loves these guys who are like these character guys who are just brutal, and it's driving me nuts.
Really?
Well, I live by myself. These are the conversations I have in my head.
If anyone wants to check out Riley's Twitter during a Leaf game, when the Leafs are down, I find your Twitter game is good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Or
like an OT and then Komarov steps on the ice.
Yeah.
Like last night, I was laughing. I was like, "Oh, jeez,
Mm.
that's got to come up."
Yeah. Well, I really like Dermott. I hope he stays, but I know he won't, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because it's like you want to make this team better. That was another thing that we talked about in a few podcasts ago. I'll wrap it up because we've been talking about the Leafs for a while. But the Leafs don't need a big defenseman. They need 6 good ones. And Dermott is a step forward in being towards that. Lilligren, who played, I thought, really well in the World Juniors, is another
Yeah,
step to.
he struggled, I think, a few games to begin the tournament, but he closed out pretty nice.
He seemed confident, which is huge. So
And that
there's
struck
there's
pass.
there's 3. If you can figure out Zaitsev a little bit, there's 4. Then you just have a bottom pairing to figure out. Maybe Carrick picks it up a bit. There's your 5th defenseman. Gardner, like I said,
Don't sign him.
don't sign him. But anyway, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. But
I feel ya. I don't have a defenseman on my team.
you got Shea Weber. Oh yeah.
He's hurt. Maybe he's not booze cruising this week and he's rehabbing.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of BC boys in Montreal, so I'm sure they're all together out there.
Mixing it up in Kelowna.
Yeah, on the Montreal radio, they bring on. Last year they brought on every Monday morning Brendan Gallagher to talk.
Mm-hmm.
It was like at 8 a.m. or 8:30, and now this year it's Jordy Ben, and he's quite a character too. But I think he forgot this week, and he was supposed to come on at 10:30 yesterday, and he just never called in.
Yeah.
So he was just like,
yeah,
well, we guess Jordy Ben's back in BC, or his flight hasn't landed or anything, but he just never called.
Yeah, the CBA says I don't have to call anyone, so.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, we want to get to our questions?
Yeah, so like we said, we put statuses up on Twitter and Facebook. Just reading our Facebook one, and it says, I wrote, what would you like to hear from us? Should we talk about something? Let us know. Sean responded. Sean's my dad. Do you think the Habs and Sens make the playoffs? Riley, you can go ahead with that one.
No.
And why?
Okay, I was going to explain why.
Why both?
Okay, why both?
Yeah.
I don't think... Carey Price has been saving them some games, but you got to look at the division that they're in. Mm-hmm. Right? Tampa's in. Toronto's in. Boston's looking pretty good right now. They got to slide into a wild card spot.
Yeah.
And that means they got to hope that there isn't 5 teams in the other conference that are good. Or in the other division, that are good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see either. Like Ottawa's kind of figured. Duchesne's finally found the back of the net.
Yeah, a couple times.
But Duffy said it last night during the Leaf game, and I thought it was perfect, and it fits with Edmonton too. When you start looking at the games remaining, and you've got 30 some games left, and you're 8 or 9 points out, I don't know how much. I know Edmonton's 7. I don't know how much Montreal and Ottawa are out of a spot, but
right now Montreal is 7 points behind Pittsburgh for the final wild card, and Ottawa is 10 behind Pittsburgh for the final wild.
So that means they've got to win 5 games that another team doesn't, without losing in the remaining 30 some games.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about it, but it's true.
Like that, so they gotta win 5 games. Like let's say there's 30 games left, they gotta finish 25-5, and the other team finished 20-10.
Yeah, math.
Yeah, math.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. Like I think Montreal will climb up a bit, maybe leapfrog Detroit and Florida, but I don't see them leapfrogging any other teams. I think Philly's going to give Pittsburgh and the Rangers a harder time going forward. Mm-hmm. I like the talent with the Islanders. This big if here, if they can acquire a starting goaltender by the deadline or at the deadline, I think the Islanders can slip in because they're not worthy of being, what is it? Well, they're 1 point out of the final wild card, but they're not worthy of being out of a wild card position or playoff spot. They should be in there.
So if the playoffs started right now, who's in? Who are the 2 wild card? So we've locked down who's in that division. I can't think. Metropolitan's the other one, right?
So it's the Metro and the Atlantic.
Atlantic is the one the Montreal and Ottawa are in.
In the Metro, it's Washington, Columbus, Jersey, and then in the Atlantic is Tampa, Boston, Toronto.
And then
the two wild card teams are The Rangers and Pittsburgh.
There you go. Do you think that those either like I know that Ottawa and Montreal fans don't want to hear this, and they might have come to a point of accepting it, but do you think that either one of those teams are better than the 8 teams we just named?
No, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
No, and if Turris was in Ottawa with Duchesne on his wing, yes, but that's not the case.
Yeah. Montreal being if they had Sergachev and PK on the back end.
No, don't. I don't want to talk about Montreal this week. We're on a bye week. We again.
We again. Yeah.
Yeah, but just.
That is a good question though, because when he said it, when I started thinking about it, I'm like, you're getting to 30 games and you're 9-10 points out. Like that's really not good.
And just so we're not biased, and on the western side of things, it's Winnipeg in the Central. It's Winnipeg, St. Louis, Nashville, Vegas, Los Angeles, San Jose in the Pacific, and the 2 wild card teams right now are Dallas and Colorado. But Anaheim is not far out. They're like tied for that final wild card with Minnesota and Colorado, but they played more games, so that's just so we're not biased.
Mm-hmm. I think the main thing too with Edmonton, who we were just talking about, and Montreal and Ottawa, like people are saying, oh, these teams could go on a run, go on a little bit of a winning streak. Is there anything that you've seen from any of these teams that makes you think they're going to go on a winning streak anytime soon?
No team in the league is going on winning streaks right now.
Yeah, but is there anything that makes you think that Edmonton's going to go off and win 9 in a row?
No. I like what Ray Ferraro said about Edmonton, though.
What was that?
He says Chiarelli built that team to win in 2011, not in 2018. And it's true. I was telling my dad that today.
That's good.
He's got like Lucic, Maroon, and Cassian, all pretty much the same type of player, and those are 3 wingers.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to another question here. My cousin Eric says, maybe your opinion on the medal over the glass in the World Juniors and your take on the situation. So for those who haven't seen it, the other day, Elias Anderson, he's the captain of Team Sweden. They obviously lost to Team Canada. It was 3-1, wasn't it? 3-1 final.
Yes,
and
guy.
when the medals were handed out, the Swedes went first. They got their silver medals. Captain goes up. Anderson, he's a draft pick of the Rangers, early first round. And he goes up, takes it off immediately, and throws his silver medal over the glass. And a fan catches it. And he was just going to leave it there, but he eventually got it back.
I heard he didn't get it back.
I think he did.
Because they interviewed him and he said he never got it back.
Maybe the team did.
Yeah.
But what did you think of that? Like, I heard a lot of opinions on it. You know, like, that's a guy I want playing for me. That's all heart right there.
Mm-hmm.
Silver is first loser. You know, and then there's the other side of things where it's like, what an asshole. Like,
when I first saw it, I honestly thought, because you see at games the equipment managers like throwing towels over the glass to fans or something stupid like that. Immediately, that's what I thought it was a towel.
Yeah.
And then Ray Ferraro was like, Elias Anderson just threw his medal over the glass. Like Ray Ferraro talks.
I like Ray.
I like Ray too, but I don't think I did a
favorite.
very good impression of him. But anyway. Yeah, I couldn't. He's a kid. Ray summed it up. He's a kid, but you're not that much of a kid. And you want to do it full circle? He's 19 years old. If you watched the BCS championship last night, the college final, I know you didn't.
I didn't. I hate football.
The Alabama starting quarterback, who had been their starting quarterback all year, was pulled out at halftime for a true freshman, and the true freshman led the team to victory.
Yeah, I read that game story.
That kid, the 19-year-old who got pulled, was so happy for his team. The guy who got pulled.
And
flip it. Elias Anderson is 19 and threw his medal over the glass.
And he had a good tournament. His team played well in every single game. And it's like he's just throwing away the team's success, pretty much.
Well, you know, there's so many spins to it, right? Like, I love that it was an emotional move.
Yeah.
Like, that just shows you how much, regardless of what you think, if it was bad or good. I didn't like it. I thought it was pretty. I honestly, I couldn't believe it. Because me and you were talking after the game, and I just kept laughing. I'm like, he threw his medal into the crowd. But
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
but that's just what the tournament's like. But that's what I mean. It just shows you how much they care about winning
Yeah,
in
even
this
though they're
tournament.
kids, they still care.
Because the old saying was that it was always Canada's the only team that cares, and especially when they rung off 5 in a row in the two.
That hasn't happened in a long time.
No, but when they did, it was always
Yeah.
this was just Canada's tournament, and you saw that
Yeah.
when they'd go over in Europe and all the advertising on the boards would be for Canada companies and the tournaments in Finland, and but it
Yeah.
shows you that the tournament matters, and I couldn't believe it. I bet you as soon as that thing left his hand, he was like, oh,
F.
F.
Yeah, but he cried too.
He was crying
Passionate.
before.
I'd still take that kid on my team. Like,
Well, I would still take. I'll let you go. You go ahead and finish. I keep cutting you off.
no, it's okay. I would still take him on my team. He's an incredible talent, but if he could leave that part of his attitude out of it, not that I don't like emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that whole thing was kind of disrespectful
Mm-hmm.
to his team as a whole.
His country.
Yeah,
If Dylan Dubé threw a silver medal over the glass, how would that kid play in the NHL?
I highly doubt it. He wouldn't play for Calgary.
No. But I don't know. I would have him on my team because he's a great player, but I wouldn't have him on my team because he has heart because he did something like that.
Yeah. One more question.
You want me to say it?
No, we got it. No, we got another question. I think Riley knows this fella.
Yeah, Matty Latour.
Matty Latour, radio guy.
Radio guy.
Habs fan, according to his bio.
Mm-hmm.
And he says,
New Orleans Pelicans fan too. Bring it back to basketball for you.
Is that relevant? So he tweeted to us today. He says, assuming Vegas makes the playoffs, do you see them making it out of the second round? I'm going to let you take that one.
You like it like the last two questions you let me start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I do.
really
You know
know.
why? Because they're the little engine that could.
Okay, whoa. Bring it back to Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah. Tommy the Tank.
Go back.
They. Not he, they. What makes you think that they aren't? What makes you think that they aren't going to do that? Just like the opposite of the Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa and Edmonton going on a run. What makes you think Vegas isn't going to go on a run? The fact that they're an expansion team?
No, I think that they could make it to the second round. I just don't think that they could hold up against a team like, say, like, for example, if the playoffs started today, they would play Colorado. They're going to beat Colorado. They've already beat them 7-0 once this year, and they have 2 more matchups before the season closes.
Mm-hmm.
But if they get out of if they make it to the second round, then they go up against who I think are juggernauts in LA. But LA is also 7 points back of them, and then or they can play against Winnipeg, who I don't think Winnipeg's going to be fun to play against in the playoffs. I think they're built. They're finally what they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
And I don't see Vegas passing a team like Winnipeg, though, to make it out of the second round if they play them.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you determine... I don't know. How do they determine that? Who plays who?
Well, isn't it like first versus the second wild card, second versus the first wild card, and then third, 6, 4, 5? Pretty sure.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because right now the way it shapes up is it's exactly that. Because Vegas is first in the West. What the frig? They are though.
But then you got to consider that too. How great's that team been on home ice?
Unbelievable.
And if let's say,
A lot of boozing.
yeah. Well, let's say they finish first in the West.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah.
means they have home ice advantage all the way through the playoffs, and probably
They
if
have
they made a cup final, they would have home ice advantage.
they have
Because
20 home games remaining. Vegas right now.
and out of 39 or whatever,
Out of 41.
so they play half and half.
Essentially. Yeah, essentially.
I don't know. I'm
That's-
just saying. I think
I don't
you
think
gotta you gotta remember that if they're so dominant at home, every series they're gonna have 4 games at home out of a 7-game series,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and they're really good on home ice, and they have
and they would
goaltenders.
start every series at home and would overpower them if they came out. Imagine going home against Vegas and you're down 2-0.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. Yeah, imagine if you're, like, say you're the Dallas Stars, who would be, I think, yeah, they're a wild card team right now. You're the Dallas Stars. You go into Vegas, you play them, you're down 2-0. And Dallas thinks that they have a good team down there too.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're not that bad, but like if they're down 2-0, they're not coming back. The only team I can't see them beating. I know the question was, do you think that that the Knights could win the cup?
No, it was make it
But
out of the second round, make it past the
Out of the
second round.
But if they make it as far as the cup final, the only team I can't see them beating is Tampa Bay. I
Yeah,
don't think I can see anyone beating them though.
I did a column in the Valley Gazette this week where I wrote about sports for 1,000 words. And
Nice.
Yeah, and it was mainly hockey that I spoke about, and I picked Tampa Bay St. Louis in the final.
Tampa Bay versus St. Louis.
I had my conference finals in the East were Toronto, Tampa. I don't know if that's possible or not. And then now that I think about it, I don't know if that's possible or not. But anyway.
I don't really know how it works, like how they decide who plays who, but moving.
But then the West, I had Winnipeg. I had it down to 4 teams: Nashville, Winnipeg, Vegas, St. Louis.
St. Louis is a tough team too.
Mm-hmm.
The West is a different animal. I mean, I don't see enough of their hockey, but the Western Conference is awesome hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's so much different over there. Like the points are way higher, and the East kind of just has middle range.
Because East teams that go over there and play just get run out.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true too. Just crazy.
But
if the playoffs started today, the Bruins would play the Leafs.
that'd be a fun time in the Miracle household.
I was thinking that. That would be. I could get behind a series like that though. That'd be a fun series. Like for me, is like I'd have no bias to I wouldn't care who won.
You're just hoping no one wins.
I'd probably pull for the Leafs.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, because they're Canadian. Matthews, but I hope nobody heard that. But no, I just hate the Bruins that much more.
Yeah.
But Toronto's got the season series in that one, 2-0. So
Beat them back to back.
yeah, OT and
The
4-1.
Hall of Fame night OT, Patty Marleau with the goal.
Yeah.
And then they went down to the TD Garden and won that one too.
Must feel good.
Not a big deal. It's nice to have a team that finally wins games.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be.
But they have got to make sure you got a left and right shot defense on the ice at the same time.
Exactly.
And
Where are we at right
Komarov down the middle against the top pairing.
Where are we at right now?
We're at 39 minutes.
All right. I just want to say thanks to everyone who responded to our social media this week, whether they posed a question, gave us compliments, critique. Thanks to our friends at Left Coast Leafs Podcast. Thanks to them, we tweaked a little bit of our name on our social media.
I like I said, I went on a rant last week because I was pretty bummed out. It was in the moment I was bummed out, and then I put that post on Facebook, and I think for the coming
traction.
Huh?
We got the wheels moving a bit.
Yeah, and I think me and Will have been discussing the podcast a lot this week actually, and I think
we brainstormed some neat ideas that
we got some
want to talk about it briefly.
Sure.
Yeah. Just before we wrap this up, we'll talk about we're gonna start. We're still gonna keep with the hockey talk and stuff like that, obviously. But for the most part, we're gonna try looking at getting people on here to tell us their story, whether it be sports-related stories or musicians or anyone who wants to come on that's a sports fan and they have a story to tell. We're open to having them on. Probably a hockey fan.
That's what we're thinking.
Yeah, because we're on ice. I'm in room. You're in room.
Yeah.
Podcast is on
But
ice.
together we're both on ice.
Yeah, we're Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer.
I'm Scott.
Probably. Anyway, so we want to tell stories of about like people's story. We want to get guests here that have something to say, like have a bit of the background in sports, or I don't know. For example, do we name drop, or we got a kid coming on. We've been talking.
Watching you swim around it is so funny.
We've been talking to him. So he's I guess he'd be
15.
He's 15. He's a brother-in-law of a buddy of ours.
Not a brother-in-law, but almost.
Yeah, because he's 15. But he's playing AAA hockey in Toronto, and we touched base with him this week, and we're gonna try to get him on as soon as he can free up some time in his obviously very busy schedule.
Well, they're coming into playoffs now too, so it's even tougher. So he's on the. I looked at their schedule. He's on the ice 5 times a week, so we gotta.
Crazy, yeah. So we're gonna try work something in with him, and it's his OHL draft year, so that's one of the examples of a story that we're gonna try to interview him. And
I think the main thing is, me and you are pretty. I would consider us knowledgeable hockey guys. But if you're someone who listens to a hockey podcast, you're hearing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, or if you turn on sports radio during the day, say you turn on the Leafs radio or the Habs one in Montreal.
They were all. If you were turned on the Leaf radio, they all said the same thing I did today.
Oh yeah, but it's like that for everything.
Which is why I think we gotta put this unique spin on it and maybe tell some cool stories of some people in the game who have a unique story.
Or somebody out of the game.
I think one thing that would be that too, but I think one thing that would be cool, and I know she's my sister, but I think our podcast with Kelsey was really good.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a timeless one too because we talked a little Bruins, but there wasn't. You can listen to that one anytime you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is one thing I think we want to do with our podcast too. We don't want to have it so that, although we kind of did that today, but you don't want to have it where 3 weeks from now the only reason you're listening is because you know us.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got some new stuff cooking up here.
We're working on some things. Off the air, we're working on a few things.
So hopefully that works out. I just got a notification from LinkedIn. We'll end with this. I connected with Mark Masters.
Mark Masters, TSN, Toronto.
Yeah.
I connected with the communications and PR guy for the Montreal Canadiens today. I have no idea why. I talked to him 4 years ago, and for some reason he invited me to connect today. His name is Dominic Sayan.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Anyway, that's he's been there for 6 years and 4 months.
Mark Masters?
Yeah, according to LinkedIn.
I can't remember when he started.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone for listening and all the support that everyone had. It seemed like we picked up a little traction.
Absolutely.
So.
And if you haven't already, go follow us on Twitter at Will and Ryan Ice. If you just want to search us, it's Will and Ryan Ice Podcast on both Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
And I would look us up at Will and Ryan Ice because I looked us up today on Twitter and we're not the first thing that comes up.
Yeah.
So go on there at Will and Ryan Ice. Same with Instagram. We're at Will and Ryan Ice too.
Pretty sure. Yep.
And Facebook at Will and Ryan Ice. And I'm at Riley_Miracle on Twitter. Will, you're at Real Prue too.
Real Prue 2. That's PROULX.
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know how to say my last name.
And I'm Miracle, for those of you who don't know how to say, but you don't need to know how to say it, you just need to know how to type it, so. Alright, thanks everyone for listening, we'll catch up next week.
Sounds good.
Take it to the promised land. The promised land. Gonna take it to the promised